Hello, welcome to my channel. My name's Amy and today I'm going to be discussing mask clearing. So, one of the most common issues that I see with new scuba divers is their difficulty in clearing their mask, so removing the water from their mask. So this is not to say that everyone has this issue, but it's just the most common problem that I see as an instructor. So because of this, I thought I would create a little video on just some small tips on how to prevent this from happening or even to overcome any issues a diver might have. The biggest thing when you've got water in your mask is that sensation that you're going to breathe water up your nose, and it's not comfortable, and that's what gives divers a little bit of a panic. So if you feel like you had this sensation and you feel like you're going to breathe in the water, just hold your nose closed. You can still breathe. And what this is doing, first, is preventing you from breathing water up your nose. The second thing, it's bringing you back to your breath, breathing in and out. Concentrating on your breath will calm your mind and it will allow you to think through the problem a lot more effectively. Go back to your breath, my friend, okay? And you'll find that when you release your nose and it's still got water around it, you won't have that sensation anymore because you've calmed yourself down. When you do go to release, just release it slowly. Don't be so quick in doing stuff under the water. That's what causes the problems, being too quick. You need to be a sloth. Sometimes divers find it uncomfortable when they fully flood their mask and open their eyes and all they see is a blurry mess. It's not a comfortable feeling. You might feel a bit panicked because you can't see things effectively. Closing your eyes will remove this obstacle. Closing your eyes means that you can concentrate on the problem at hand and also bring you back to your breath, okay? Calming the mind again. Go back to your breath. Practice on the surface. Now you might be asking, how do I clear my mask on the surface when I'm not under the water? What I mean by this is before you even go under the water and breathe, what we first need to do is we need to tell the brain a different way of breathing. We're teaching the brain how to breathe under the water. Practice breathing on the surface while your head is submerged without a mask on. And what it's doing again, it's teaching your brain to breathe in and out through your mouth because we can no longer use our nose under the water. But it also gets your nose used to having water surrounding it whilst breathing in and out. Okay, that's a very key point, both at the same time. And this is so when you do go to clear your mask whilst under the water, when you flood your mask and your nose is flooded with water, you've already experienced that on the surface, so it's not going to be such a shock for your body. Do a dry one. Do a dry run. Oh my god, I couldn't say that for so long. Dry run. And what that means, again, you're practicing the skill not in the water. So we haven't even got in the water yet. Anything you learn in scuba diving has a sequence. It has steps. Keyword, step. And this is what your instructor will be briefing you on before you get in the water. So when they brief you, ask them, don't be afraid. Say, can we do a dry run? Can we just practice that on the surface and talk through the skill? Doing it a couple of times on the surface will mean that when you go to do it under the water, it will be a bit more second nature and you'll have a clearer idea in your head on how to complete each step. It will go so much more smoothly, trust me. Slow down. Become a sloth. No, a tortoise. A sloth. You are not a hare, you're a tortoise, okay? When you're a scuba diver. All you have to do is just slow down. You'll be able to complete the skill so much more easier. You need to give yourself time to think through it. Seriously, 99% of difficulty with skills is because a student rushes through it. Just by slowing down and really thinking about what you're doing will make the world of difference. The main thing to remember is to not rush for anyone. Take your time in your learning and don't compare your pace to anyone else's. Just, you have to learn at your own speed. Don't be rushed by anyone. Perform the skill effectively. So the main thing to remember when you're completing mask clearing is to not go straight back into looking up and blowing out through your nose, but look down first and then gradually breathe out through your nose and start to look up. And the reason why we have to look up is because we want the air to escape effectively. Air always wants to go to the surface, so we're allowing that easy access by looking up. Another thing, holding onto the frame of your mask. So when we're breathing out through our nose for the water to escape, we can help that on its way by lifting the skirting at the bottom of your mask. There's multiple ways. The most effective way to lift the skirting away from your face is holding onto the frame of the mask. The main thing is, if you are going to use this technique, lift it only a little bit away from the face, not so far, literally like a tiny, it's all it needs, just tiny little bit of help, tiny little bit of help. Last but not least, I want to end on this one. What I always see is a student will flood their mask, they take a nice deep breath in, and they will go to release the water from their mask by breathing out, but instead of breathing out through their nose, they breathe out from their mouth. They're not having any discomfort, it's just they can't get the water out of their mask, and it is because they are using their exhale from their mouth instead of their nose. Okay, remember at the beginning we need to train the body into just using our mouth for inhale and exhale. Well, that then confuses the brain again, and it doesn't know how to use its nose anymore. One way you can trick your brain into not using your exhale from your mouth is by just holding on to it. It tricks your brain into thinking you can't exhale from there anymore. So when you go to complete this skill, or if you have a friend or a student that is struggling with this, just ask them to just hold on to the front of their regulator. All right, that's not to say to stop breathing, it's just to trick the brain into thinking that it can't exhale. So again, they're going to try, they end up using their nose instead. Literally 90% of the time when I introduce this new technique to a student, they can clear their mask. So there you have it, a few little tips and tricks on how to prevent any issues from occurring, and also how to overcome some problems. If you have any questions, or even if you have any of your own advice, please put it in the comments below, because that could help someone out. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time, buddies.